Greg, welcome to Business Insider, designed specially to give a voice to the thought leaders of the Central Coast, and you are one of those right now, and very active too. This is about looking at how Greg Florimer and the Central Coast Bears got to where they are right now, and where they're going to go in the next couple of months, with big things, obviously. But if we talk about you, and the strategies that have led up to 2011, do 2 or 3 stick out and say, hey, they were really cool decisions, or maybe 1 or 2 that says, wow, I really wish we'd done something differently?
Definitely, I think there's a couple that certainly stick out for me and for the team, and it's all about, I think, getting traction for our brand, and to do that it was about engaging the community and connecting with the community. So we've gone to great lengths to try and understand what the community wants in a rugby league club, and whether they want to have some sort of say or ownership or partnership in the whole equation, or whether they're just happy to turn up and watch the football games. And I think the answer to that is yes, they do want to have some sort of say in shaping the direction of the football club and the football team and the personnel that are involved in the team. So to this point, it's obviously a work in progress, but I really feel that we have connected with the community, and that's shown through the amount of members that we've picked up over the past few months.
Yeah. Well, you're on 5,000 or close, just on 5,000?
Just over 5,000, 5,200 financial members, of which 65% of those are Central Coast residents.
Wow, okay.
So there was a weighting towards non-Central Coast, but since we've been up here and we've been very active, they've really got on board and got behind it and put their money.
What are some of the tricks? When you talk about traction and engagement, what have you done to get that?
Visibility, more than anything. It's about being in the community, being at the schools, being at the fetes, being at the shopping centres, and asking the question, do you want your own NRL team? And inevitably people will say, yes, I do. Whether they're pro or anti-Bears or rugby league, they understand the significance of the game and the importance to the community and to the youth in particular on the coast. So I think most of all is actually being active, being visible, making sure people can touch and feel the brand and see that, yes, this is real.
Do you feel like there's any, because you have a wide target, you were talking about the youth and the slightly older, is there a target you don't feel as though you've tackled hard enough? Oh dear, that's an unfortunate pun. Have tackled hard enough?
Probably. I think it's only early days. Obviously, we want to be around for the next 100 years. So it's been, I think, initially it's been a bit of a scattergun approach. Let's just get out there and show the brand, and whoever comes in, well, we'll understand then who we're relating to, who we're connecting with. But we've obviously had some strategy around the seniors. We've had some lawn bowl competitions where we've tried to engage the seniors, and that we've got quite a big fan base in that demographic, considering a lot of the expats up from Sydney have had a team down there. Many of them are ex-North Sydney fans, so that's been fairly easy. The kids have been easy because we've got giveaways for them. For $10 they get a cap and a wristband, and they're on straight away. So I guess in that middle age range is somewhere where we haven't really tapped into yet.
And there's a lot of loyalties in there that you're battling with as well, isn't there? So.
There are, but the strategy is we figure if we get the kids, mums and dads will follow.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Like I say, you've set yourself a deadline for end of March for the documentation and the material to be ready. What next after that? How can you keep the momentum?
Well, I think we continue to lobby. We're not quite sure who we're lobbying to at the moment, given the uncertainty around the structure of the game. But as soon as the independent commission is installed, we'll obviously be very active and very vocal about our bid, as we have done to this point. But we don't expect a decision until another 2 or 3 months after March, so about mid-year 2011.
Can businesses do more to help? And if you went out and said, okay, well, as I said earlier, if there were 2 or 3 that you could link up with here, what would you be telling them that they need to be doing, and how can they support the bid? Or is it should be all funneled through you, obviously, but Is there something that they can be doing on a broader national level?
Well, I think there's obviously you know, a sponsorship level where businesses can become involved if they so desire. But I think everyone's got to identify the strengths of the game and what it's going to bring to this region socially and economically. And a lot of the businesses are starting to understand the power of the game, the power of sports marketing. So, you know, as time goes by, the more traction we gain on the coast, the more interest there is from all levels of business on the coast. And you know, we've obviously got some fantastic partners. We're based down there at Fortuny and Erina, and they've been tremendous with us since day one because they see the potential that rugby league brings to their brand, and obviously to the coast and to the people of the coast.
Have you been surprised? You've been here 10 years now. Have you been surprised about anything on the coast? You kind of sit back and say, well, that shocked me, or that came as a surprise in either a business sense?
No, I don't think so. I don't get surprised easily. I see it as just a challenge if people don't see things the way, you know, I see them, and I try to convince them that, look, this is a good thing. This is the way we should be thinking.
Your history would lead to you not being surprised. I'm thinking now, after being hit in as many tackles, it's tough to surprise Greg Florimo. Yes,
well, it is, and you know, everyone has their thought process and their opinions on how this whole franchise should evolve, and I take all that on board. And it's very hard to stay focused on one pathway because there are so many people with an opinion and people who want to see this happen and see that happen. So, and
even tougher when you, like as you say, the NRL isn't certain on who they are or what they are. Let's move on to a little closer to Greg Florimo, and that is this. People talk about work-life balance. Is there such a thing in Greg Florimo's life?
There has to be. There has to be. Very, very proud of my family life. I have a lovely wife and 3 fantastic sons, and you know, we try and get together as often as possible. It is difficult. 3 teenage sons, they're doing their own thing, but it's nice just to spend a moment with them at the end of the day, sitting around the dinner table, even if it's only 5 or 10 minutes. I think that's important. And then obviously there's this beautiful coastline up here in the Central Coast, and it's a matter of, you know, just walking down to the beach and sticking your feet in the water and trying to wash away the concerns of the day and focus on what really means a lot to you and your family and your home. Yeah,
cool. Okay. Do you plan that? Has that always come naturally, that family focus?
I think so. Yeah. I think so. Yeah. You know, I was lucky as a professional athlete. My working hours were when the kids were at school. So in the morning I'd be able to take them to school. When they came home, I was at home. And they shared in the joys and highlights of coming to the footy and all the emotion and the drama that was around that. So I've been very lucky in that I've been there through the whole process of my kids' upbringing. So that means we're very connected now.
Excellent. And just to finish up with, as I mentioned earlier, we are looking for information and news for the coast. Is there any expectations that you have on how that sort of service can be improved to business people like you? Is there enough information out there, or the information out there, is it being delivered properly at the moment, or?
I think there's lots of opportunity given the new media that is consistently being discovered and being delivered to the...
Are you a tweeter?
I'm not. I'm taking a crash course on Thursday. So I need to... I'm just touching on Facebook.
Can I ask who that is?
Just with a local... We've got a PR guy that's coming up from Sydney, who's got some experience with it. So, I mean, I see the value in social media without a doubt. We've got 23,000 Facebook fans, and any message we need to deliver is just, it's touch of a button and out it goes. So I'm starting to understand the value of it, but not quite that savvy yet.
Yeah. Looking back, 10 years, lots of preparation in getting to where you are now. Are there any stories, anecdotes that you could share with a mixed audience?
Well, I think persistence has been the key. There's been a lot of hurdles, a lot of a lot of roadblocks along the way, but there's just been that persistence and the drive from not necessarily just within our team, but from within the community at large. People want to see this happen. And those days, those times when you're not feeling quite as enthusiastic about it, you know, someone comes along and says, "Hey, you're doing a great job. Keep going. We want to see our team on the coast." So, I think persistence has been a real cornerstone for everyone in the business, the fans, the employees. It's just about, we know that this is a good thing, we know this is the right thing, staying focused, staying on track, and hopefully it'll all come to fruition in the end.
Well, you're right, and persistence in these times, it doesn't matter whether you're creating a football club or building, you know, interior design business. It is about, you're dead right, knowing you're right, knowing it can happen, and just loving it in spite of those horrible days that we all get some.
And I guess that comes from passion. You've got to have passion, and you've got to really feel for what you're trying to do, and that comes across in your message a lot of the times.
Cool. Mr. Florimo, thank you.
Thank you.
Great session.